Welcome to the midnight hour, where shadows whisper and the veil between worlds thins. Turn the page if you dare.
They told me the warehouse was empty. They said there was nothing inside. But 6 months later, a detective called me back. And this time, they had found something. Part 3, the warehouse footage. It had been 6 months since his arrest. 6 months since the black sedan. 6 months since 2:17 a.m.
I won't back down!
I had started sleeping again. Mostly. Then, one afternoon, I got a call from a blocked number. It was Detective Ramirez. "Daniel, we need you to come in. We found something at that warehouse address." My stomach dropped. I hadn't thought about that place in months. The abandoned rail yard building he told me to deliver the $10,000 to. Police had searched it before. Empty.
You can't escape
dust.
I won't
Broken
back
windows.
down. Then
Nothing
face
else.
the door.
But now, something had changed. When I arrived at the station, Ramirez didn't waste time. We researched the warehouse after cross-referencing locations from similar cases. He said, "There's something you need to see." He took me into a small interview room. Dim lights, a laptop on the table. He pressed play. Security footage, black and white, timestamp from 4 months ago, 2:03 a.m. The inside of the warehouse. I leaned closer. The building wasn't empty. There was a folding table in the center of the room. On the table, photos, dozens of them, pinned to a board behind it. The camera zoomed in.
Ramirez nodded slowly. "We never found him." The footage cut to static, then came back. The table was gone. The photos were gone. The warehouse was empty again, as if it had never happened. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" I asked. Ramirez hesitated. "Because we didn't see the second person until we enhanced the footage last week." I felt dizzy. "He said I was different," I muttered. Ramirez looked at me carefully. "What do you mean?" I explained everything. How he said I noticed, how I came outside, how he said I ruined it by recording him. Ramirez leaned back. "That wasn't escalation," he said quietly. "That was selection." On the drive home, everything felt wrong again. Every car behind me looked suspicious. Every parked vehicle made my chest tighten. That night, I couldn't sleep. At 2:17 a.m., I woke up again. It wasn't random anymore. It felt programmed, like my body expected something. I walked to my window. No car this time, just darkness. Then, my phone vibrated. Unknown number, one message, a single image. It was a screenshot from the warehouse footage, the exact frame where the second shadow stood in the corner, zoomed in, and underneath it were 3 words: "You still notice." I dropped my phone. Police traced the number, burner phone, untraceable, just like the prepaid cards. That's when I realized something terrifying. Shadows of Black Hollow,
You
Part
can't
4.
escape this! I won't back
The
down!
rain hadn't
Then
stopped
face
for
the
3
storm!
days. Black Hollow looked like a town drowning in its own secrets. Police sirens echoed in the distance, but nobody came close to the abandoned Carter house anymore. Yellow caution tape fluttered in the cold wind, torn, useless. Ethan hadn't slept, not since what he saw in the basement. The symbol carved into the concrete floor, the same symbol that appeared in his grandmother's old diary. The same symbol found burned into the forest soil behind the house. And now it was carved into his bedroom wall. The whisper returns. 3:33 a.m. Ethan's phone screen lit up by itself. No notifications, just static. Then a voice, soft, female, broken. You promised. Ethan froze in his bed. His breath turned visible in the freezing air. The window was closed. The heater was on, but the room felt like winter had broken inside. Then the closet door creaked open slowly, and inside the darkness, two pale white eyes stared back. Meanwhile, at the sheriff's office, Sheriff Daniel Harper wasn't a man who believed in ghosts, but he believed in patterns, and too many things weren't making sense. 4 missing teenagers, all connected to Black Hollow Forest, all last seen near the Carter property. And now, Ethan, the only one who survived the night in that house. Harper flipped through the old town records. Something caught his eye. 1887, the Black Hollow Ritual. A secret cult, a sacrifice, a girl named Eleanor Carter, accused of witchcraft, burned alive in the forest clearing. Her last words recorded by a priest: "You will beg for the darkness to take you." Sheriff Harper felt a chill run down his spine. Outside his office window, the power flickered. Back at Ethan's house, the closet door slammed shut. Ethan grabbed his phone and ran downstairs. His mother was asleep on the couch, TV static humming softly.
You can't
He shook her
escape
awake.
this. I won't
"Mom,
back down.
it's back!"
Then face the
She
storm.
looked terrified, not confused. Terrified, because she had seen it too. Last night, standing at the end of the hallway, long black hair covering her. The forest kept me. The fog thickened. Behind Ethan, shadowy figures began forming. The missing teenagers, their eyes hollow, their movements stiff, controlled. "You don't want to hurt anyone," Ethan said desperately. "I don't," her voice cracked. "But the forest is hungry." Suddenly, the ground beneath Ethan began to sink. Roots wrapped around his ankles, pulling him down. Sheriff Harper bursting to the clearing, gun drawn. "Step away from him!" He fired. The bullet passed straight through Eleanor. She didn't even flinch. Instead, she looked at Harper and smiled. "You were always going to return, Daniel." Harper froze. "How do you know my name?" The fog shifted, and for a split second, Eleanor's face changed into someone else. A woman Harper recognized. His great-great-grandmother, a founding member of Black Hollow.
You can't escape
"No,"
this.
Harper
I won't
whispered.
back down.
The ritual
Then face the
reawakens. The symbol on the ground began glowing brighter. The missing teens stepped forward in unison, chanting, low, rhythmic, the same words written in 1887 records. Ethan realized something. "It's not revenge," he gasped. "It's a gateway." Eleanor wasn't trying to kill them. She was trying to open something worse. The forest trembled. Trees bent inward toward the clearing. A deep rumble echoed underground. Cracks split the earth, and from beneath, a massive shadow began rising. Not human, not animal, just darkness, moving, breathing, hungry. The choice. Eleanor looked at Ethan. "You can end this." "How?" he cried. "Blood closes what blood opened." Sheriff Harper understood immediately. The ritual started with Carter blood. It needed Carter blood to seal it. Ethan stepped forward. "No!" Harper shouted. But Ethan knew, if he didn't, the entire town would fall, maybe more. He grabbed the sharp metal pendant hanging around Eleanor's burned neck and pressed it into his palm. Blood dripped onto the glowing symbol. The ground shook violently. The shadow roared, a sound so deep it felt like the sky tearing apart. Eleanor screamed, not in anger, in pain, in release. Light burst from the symbol. The fog exploded outward like a shockwave. Sheriff Harper was thrown back against a tree. And then, silence. Aftermath. The forest was normal again. Birds chirped. Sunlight filtered through the trees. The burned circle was gone. The missing teenagers lay unconscious on the grass, alive. Ethan was lying in the center, breathing, weak but alive. Eleanor was gone. Only ashes remained where she stood. Sheriff Harper helped Ethan to his feet. "It's over," Harper said quietly. Ethan looked at the trees. For a moment, he thought he saw a faint figure watching from deep within the forest. Not threatening, not angry, just free.
But not rising from the ground this time, descending, like it had been waiting above them. The deep voice echoed again. "Fear opens what blood awakens." The missing teenagers' voices began whispering from nowhere. Their fear, their nightmares, feeding it. Ethan understood. The creature wasn't physical. It was feeding on fear itself, growing stronger with every scream Black Hollow ever produced. The final choice. Ethan stepped forward. No more fear. The shadow laughed. "You are human." "Yes," Ethan said, "but I'm not alone." Sheriff Harper stood beside him. We end it together. Instead of running, instead of fighting, they stood still. No panic, no terror. Ethan closed his eyes, remembered Eleanor's final scream. Not rage, release. He wasn't going to give the darkness what it wanted. The shadow twisted violently, growing unstable. The symbols on the walls began cracking. Light seeped through the cracks. The chamber shook. The creature roared in frustration. Without fear, it couldn't anchor itself. The altar split in half. The ceiling collapsed inward. A blinding white light erupted from the center. The shadow shrieked, then shattered like smoke in wind. Gone.